I'ma just tell you, when you know you are on trial for the biggest thing in your life, you gotta get the biggest attorney. This man Diddy done hired YSL big homie Brian Steele. Now, if y'all don't know who Brian Steele is, you know the boy Young Thug got like 198,000 charges, right? Well, he's home right now, so he got him off. And you know Diddy knew exactly what he was doing when he brought him down. Now, their little strategy worked really good. They had a female on their team that talked to her and even made Cassie so comfortable that she decided to giggle. Yes, giggle in the middle of the trial.
Lunchtime update, Cassie on the stand, her first day of cross-examination. And I don't want to say it's super intense because Diddy's lawyer, Anna Estevea, she's doing an amazing job at being very gentle. I mean, Cassie and her have exchanged a few laughs while she was on the stand, which I thought was pretty incredible. And additionally, there's a lot of explicit graphic text that we're seeing from Cassie to Diddy and vice versa. And Estevea is saying, look, if you don't want to read these, you don't have to, which I thought was really nice.
Now, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Cassie do not look good from yesterday to today at all. We done found out she asked for $30 million. We found out he gave her $20 million. Why is you in court right now? But nonetheless, she is a victim, and we're not going to act like we ain't see what Diddy was doing running down that hallway looking all crazy with her as well. I don't know why she ain't take the stairs. The craziest part about the whole thing is when they started talking about these text messages between her and Diddy. Now, she always tried to make it seem like somebody forced me. I was coerced. I had to be intoxicated and all that. And that sounds good. But texts show that she really was like an active participant in everything that was going on. And these FOs that's going down, she's involved. Scheduling them, swiping a card on them. I mean, she's involved.
What we saw, like right off the bat here, was a conversation via BlackBerry between Diddy and Cassie about 2.5 years into their relationship. And remember, at this point, Cassie testified during direct that he had abused her. She didn't want to do freak-offs, you know, all this stuff. And she actually said that, he said, you know, I miss you already. When do you want to FO? That was Diddy. And she said, I'm always ready to FO. And again, this was August of 2009, about 2 years into their relationship.
Always down for the FO sound like you always down for the FO. I mean, it don't sound like you not down for the FO. Some people will probably go, okay, she was a girlfriend, and because she was a girlfriend, well, then people will go, well, then he was a boyfriend. And he was involved too. And he was, you know, they were both willing participants, and it's not somebody that's just taking advantage of the other person.
They talk about when it would be best for them, and then they talk about getting a court involved. And then we see a text message that says, I can't wait to stare at your BBD. You guys know what I'm talking about. And again, lawyer did not make her say it out loud. There's, yeah, a lot of explicit text messages, and look, I think some of the takeaways here at what the defense is doing and what they're eliciting out of Cassie is, again, the email saying she loves him after these FOs. And don't get mad at me. Don't tell me, you know, I understand how trauma works, but I'm just relaying all this to you guys.
Cassie actually expressed that she enjoyed the FOs a lot, bruh. She said this verbatim. She said that her only issue was Diddy treating her like a fling rather than a girlfriend. But like, what you expect? If I just treated you like a toilet, how I'ma treat you like a girlfriend? Like, let's call it what it is. It's hard to kind of mix all that up, knowing what I seen you do yesterday and who I seen you doing what and what I seen you rub on that man. Now, it also got a little crazy because apparently the diddler, he liked ketchup on his hot dog.
So Cassie testified that she had to do FOFs during her period. And we were shown an email where Diddy, for FO planning purposes, asks her when she's getting her period, and she says she's skipping it that month. Additionally, she testified that she didn't want to be a swinger because she didn't want to see him with another woman. Well, we see an exchange where she says she has a fantasy about seeing him with another woman. And I'm paraphrasing here. She also says at one point that, quote, she'd travel anywhere to be with him. And this is while they are discussing an FO in this one message, this BlackBerry message.
Now, for those that didn't see the earlier trial, transcripts and all that, she talked a lot about, doing a lot of things to kind of keep herself distant from what was going on. Now, I want to ask y'all, can a person force you to do something? Or is it kind of up to you to do something and participate? I think that we do got to take a little accountability for what we choose to put into our body. Now, unless he was like, you going to take this or else, I don't think that that's the right angle for her to use.
Another big thing here is the drug talk and the opioid talk. So Cassie testified that Diddy told her he was addicted to opioids. And the defense is basically saying, well, did you see him try to get off these opioids or come down from them? And she said, yeah. And then they said, well, that makes one volatile, angry. And again, I'm paraphrasing, but basically what they were alluding to is that Diddy's violent behavior and aggressive behavior and all of his mood swings that she talked about were because he was coming down from opioids.
Now, there was a part that did get a little weird because I feel like if a person says no, no is no. It don't matter if you said yes, no is no. I think that any smart man, no is an instant, are you allowed to persuade your girlfriend? That's kind of up to you guys. Have I ever persuaded my girlfriend? Yes. Has a woman probably persuaded her man? Yes. So I don't know the level, how you guys perceive on what no is in this perception, but she did get into how she tried to get out of doing the situations. Kinda.
Cassie felt like she didn't have the words to relay to Diddy because she was so young that she didn't want to do this and yada yada, referring to the FOs. Well, we've seen a lot of messages from Cassie to Diddy that are paragraphs, let's say, explaining certain things to him, really seeming to wear her heart on her sleeve. At one point she said, look, I'm unsure about the FOs because I feel like, before when we were doing them, and this is a few years into their relationship, she said, before we were doing them, I could spend time with you after. Now we're doing them and you're leaving right away for work and I'm not getting that time with you. So the defense is kind of like, well, it looks like she's able to communicate this stuff. And is it fair to say that this is the reason that you didn't want to do freak offs? Not everything that you testified yesterday. Again, don't get mad at me. I'm just explaining about what the defense's strategy seems to be and what they're going for.
Now, the last part that'll just get me confused is this whole she was young. I mean, I was young before it. I don't think that I was at that level, and I thought that I was down for the cause, but I wasn't at that level. And I think that when you're grown enough to participate in certain activities, it's kind of hard to say that you're just young. I'm not, saying Diddy is free of anything, but I'm just saying more so she's not either.
But these text messages are so graphic, and I just feel so bad for Cassie because she was so young, and to have her sex life just plastered, on these big screens and of course across the media world, crazy. Oh, we also saw this morning in line, we saw her brother walk in. Her husband is not in the courtroom because he can't be, because he may be called as a witness and they're getting into some things that he shouldn't hear. But he was here yesterday. But anyway, more later. Thanks, guys.
There's a lot to unpack. Instead of your husband being there, your brother's there. I need to know y'all view, man. I packed a lot into this video, man. I wanted to give y'all a lot of information. I wanted to let y'all know what happened yesterday. We're going to get into what happened today. More people. There's still more testimony today. And let me know y'all views in the comments, man. Make sure y'all subscribe at the top bell, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm out of here.